Hello everybody. Today I'm pretty happy. I released FlowStorm 3.17.0 and I think it's a good opportunity to record a live screencast here showing some of the new features, especially how they can help you to work with web applications, to explore web applications, debug web applications and stuff like that. And I'm also thinking that maybe a good idea for using as an example a BIF application. So everybody can follow along. We can create a standard BIF application and go with that. So yeah, here I have an empty folder, and let's start with the instructions from the page. So we can copy this command here. This should create a basic BIF application. So a name, amazing, it's something amazing web. Okay, looks like it created. Now we entered amazing folder, and we should be able to run the application with this. Before running the application, let's add the debugger to it. For it, we are going to just copying from the FlowStorm user's guide. So we can come here and let's copy this into our Devs Eden. Increase this font. So we're going to add an extra alias here, and we are going to call it Storm. Okay. We have an extra alias here, so we can sometimes maybe we want to start with a Storm, or maybe we don't. So it's optional. So the only thing we are going to configure a couple of things here. First is what we would like to instrument always, and we're always going to instrument everything that's related to amazing. So this is amazing whatever, and also let's instrument everything related to BIF. We are going to see in a minute why. We can also add a couple of properties here optionally for like this. If you want to integrate the debugger with Emacs, so we can, if we open something, a file or something, it will use this editor. But yeah, I don't know if you're going to use this, but I always add it. So yeah, now we can go and start the application. We are going to start here from the terminal and then connect Emacs. We are going to start it with a Storm load. So let's run that. Now we should have everything started. So this should have started web server here. We can take a look. Let's go to the browser and paste it here. And in fact, we have the application running there. And it's also, we should be able to connect a repo. And yeah, we have a repo into the same process here. So first thing we're going to do is let's start the debugger. We can start FlowStorm just by evaluating the DBG keyword whenever we need it. The first time it takes a little bit, but what I always do, let me first put this in dark mode and maybe increase the font a little bit. What I always do is I use my window manager to hide it and have one key to retrieve it whenever I need it, so I'm not constantly like starting it and shutting down. I don't need to think about it. So yeah, currently the debugger is not recording anything, so the application should behave normally. We are not doing anything special. But first thing we're going to try is let's going to set both recording on. This first button is recording the activity of each thread, and this extra recording button has to do with recording the total order of events, so we can like debug things like thread interleaving and stuff like that. You don't always need that, but let's do it. So now let's refresh the application, and yeah, we have a bunch of things going on here. We are already looking at the recordings of thread 34. We can update the user interface by running that. And but we also see here that we have recorded activities in 4 threads. This is already interesting. So that single request fires stuff in a BIF application in 4 threads. We can open each of them and explore them, step over them, or whatever. But let's say we don't know anything about this application, and I'm interested in, for example, I want to see where the application, even without looking at the code, where the application is, for example, rendering this home page here. So one thing we can do is go to More Tool, Search. This is going to open the search tool, and we can search here over every value of every thread. So we can, I don't know, copy this here, paste it here, and we are going to search on every thread. Okay. And here we already have a lot of search results. Let's go to the first one. So this is the first time this value appears in a recording, and it appears in thread 35. And here we are already, this is interesting already. It's on the function that renders the home page. We can already see where the application name is coming from some settings, and it's adding this string, and then it's this function is basically rendering some hiccup for this stuff here. This is a good point to maybe add a bookmark here, because maybe we want to come back later. So rendering homepage or something. The bookmarks, we can see the bookmarks here. Okay, we can get rid of that window. But now we are here, we can also, for example, look at the stack, or where are we? How we came here, how we arrived here. And this is already interesting, because it looks like we are at this home page, and we are coming from some Jetty function and going over a bunch of wraps, a bunch of middlewares that are wrapping and processing our requests. We can take a look, for example, let's jump into, I don't know, wrap session. Wrap session looks like it's doing something with a secret. We can see the secret there, and we can explore the function. We can keep going backwards, and now we are here. This looks like it's the main handler. So yeah, we have the request here. We can explore this request. It's a map, so it's a request for the root of the page. We can look at the headers and stuff like that, and this is the handler. One thing we can do here, now we are looking at the request map, is we can use, for example, identity power stepping to follow a value through the execution, through a thread execution. For example, we can click next there, and we can see the next piece of code that deals with that map, and next, and stuff like that. This is pretty useful sometimes. Let's go back here, and here is a good place to also add another bookmark, like main handler or something, so we can come back here if we need. Another interesting thing we can do here is, for example, we can grab this value and define it to use it at the wrapper. So basically, grab this pointer that we have recorded, let's call it request, We can have this function and call it handle, and now we can use it here on the REPL. So we have handle is our function there, and we can handle of rig. Rig is the map we have there, and we can call it, I don't know how, handle with rig, and we can continue working from the REPL. So this is an interesting aspect of FlowStorm that is not only about recording stuff, but I mean, you can bring stuff you recorded into your REPL again, and yeah, so it's I find that super powerful. Okay, now let's try to do something else with the application, I guess. So, one thing we can do before, for example, before continuing, the application, it's already logging every route we are hitting here. But yeah, this is a text flow. We can do much with this. It's interesting information, but we can do a lot. So we can use, for example, we can replicate that in a more interactive way by using printers. So we have this request, for example. We can add to print, and we put I don't know, handling, and here in an expression we can do, I don't know, format, and we can put a method of the request, and maybe this could be enough. So now we can open printers, and we can run over every thread this printer without having to do anything else. And here we already have a log. Let's see if we refresh the page, we have more recordings, and then the printer should show more things. What is interesting about this is that we can now, this is not just a log, we can like double click here and jump to exactly that point in time when request was the main CSS. If you look at here at if you inspect the request, you are going to see like the URI is hitting that. So we can use printers in this way as a log, which I find pretty powerful on web applications. So yeah, let's try to sign up here. Let's put, I don't know, test email, sign up. It says it sent a link somewhere, but here we can already refresh this, and well, now we have some like a post into send link. So we can double click here, and now we are there. If we look at this request, we are on the auth send link. From here, if we try to figure out the email sending logic or whatever, we can single step, like next, and let's see where it takes us. Or we can use other features. We have now a new feature, a new power stepper called the function power stepper, which allows us to select any function. I don't know, let's see if there is send something. Okay, there is send email, for example. And we select it. And now, using these arrows, we can step, but instead of single stepping, we are going to step to the next, from where we are to the next point that function is called. That should take us pretty fast on the send email function. And here we can see the email, the body of the email, and all this stuff. Okay. For the link here, I think it's, instead of searching the link here with the divider, I think it's going to add it to the console. So we can just copy the link and paste it here. So it looks like we can close this. We are in the app here. Let's try to do something with the app. We can do full here, and it's saving this. Look like it's saving this stuff in the database. Bar. We can put some message here, some message, sending some other message. Okay, and it looks like it's storing this stuff into the app, into the database. If I refresh the page, the stuff is already there. Now, maybe we want to try to figure out what is going on with the database. How is it accessing, what kind of queries it's using, and stuff like that. So we can clear the recordings. Let's clear everything. And we can follow the same approach. We can refresh that, get some recordings of whatever happened to record, to render this page. And now again, we can go into the search, and maybe we can search for, like this, sending some other messages. This should be coming from somewhere. Okay. And in fact, it's in a bunch of places. Let's see what is the first one. And the first one, it's coming from here, the database, from applying a query. And here it's returning the messages. This function is pretty interesting already, because it's what is being used to query things. So we have the query here, and then it looks like everything returns whatever the query is returned. So this is something interesting we can add to prints also, because we can add to print, for example, query, and we can do something here like a print here saying return some registers, and here we count whatever value it is. Okay, and we'll unmute this, and now if we go to the printers and make this bigger, we are going to disable this printer and just keep the query and return. We run this, and we already see some queries and some registers. We can, I don't know, refresh the application and try to see if it's doing more queries. Yeah, it's doing more queries. But here, what's interesting is that we can, again, jump very easily to this point in time. For example, this point in time. Okay, and then look at the stack, and let's see where we are coming from. For example, it's very easy here to see here that we are coming from. The query is being made by some chat rendering thing. Here we have a chat component that is doing the query. The query is retrieving these messages, and then this is probably rendering the hiccup for showing the messages. And yeah, so we can also use all these tools to take a look at database queries, how everything relates, and try to have a feel. And we haven't even looked at the source code. Well, we are looking at the source code here, but we haven't even like opened anything on Emacs or anything. And we already have a sense of how things are communicating, what values are flowing. FlowStorm has a lot of other features. I'm just trying to show up the ones that I find useful for web development, maybe, and yeah. So there is also another ways of. We have been looking at the stepper and searching and printers, but you can also grab any thread and try to see the execution tree by expanding all that, and looking for each function, what are the parameters, what it is returning. You can look at all the functions inside that were recorded by that thread. You can click on any of those and see all the function calls, look at the arguments or return values, jump into that point in time, look around, and yeah, there are many other tools, but they are out of the scope of this video. And yeah, that is all I want to show you. And yeah, I hope people find this stuff useful. That's it. Bye bye.